Grover Robinson, the mayor of Pensacola, joins us here to talk some more of what's going on in the world of Pensacola news. Mayor, we appreciate your time, and I hope you're doing okay as most as we can today.
Chad, thank you for having me on. It is a great Friday in Northwest Florida, just unfortunately about this virus. But certainly I think that some of the things that we're seeing, if we continue to play out this way, I think the numbers are going to work in our favor over the next 2 weeks. But, I mean, we just got to stay on top of it. And I do appreciate the governor taking the move today to make sure we don't get anybody from outside the area bringing COVID into Northwest Florida, because I think overall we can get – the faster we can get to recovery, the faster we can start taking people in, the faster we can start getting people back to work, and I think that's what we want to do.
Absolutely, and I don't think that's a problem. And the same thing would happen if we had nobody, or we had 500 people in Pensacola, and let's say Bourbon Street in New Orleans was wide open and nobody was there. I don't think they would be allowing a bunch of people over there tonight to party. It's understandable for everybody because the biggest thing is right now, if you have it, which there are numbers growing rapidly in Louisiana, if that's happening, then we want to make sure, and I'd hope they would want to make sure for humanity not to want to come over here unless it's a must, unless their mother is in a situation, and there will be exceptions to the rule, but there's no reason people need to be on the streets because half the things are not open, and people need to understand that. People are just traveling for the heck of it right now. I just drove over here from Davis Highway, Mayor, and there's still a lot of people out there. And if you have a job, there's still a lot of people that have to get out there and have a job. But if you're just driving out and about to shop, you're not doing anybody a service.
Well, and I appreciate, and I agree, there are exceptions to every rule. But by and large, for this point, the idea is for everybody to be where they are. It's movement of people that keeps moving this virus around. And if we can get everybody to stay for long enough to get to kind of work its way through, then we'll be able to get back to what we want to do and the way we operate. And I think that's part of it. At this point, though, we certainly understand. We said today, hey, if you're not in a at-risk category, either because of your age, your immune system, or a variety of things, we encourage you to be out there working. We need people working in the community. There are jobs to get done. There's certainly a lot going on with the food side. Let me just say real quick, my wife and I are doing it tonight. If you have the opportunity, order a pickup. Go help a restaurant here. Go get an order tonight for takeout delivery for your house and your family, and go help some of those people who have small businesses in your area. Give them a call and see about getting a takeout or delivery tonight. That's what we're doing, so you can help those small businesses as well. They're certainly working hard to adapt to this situation, and we are totally with them and supporting them. But it looks like we're going to have to continue to do this for a couple of more weeks. But I do think if we get to that point, I'm hoping we can eventually break this thing.
Speaking with the mayor of Pensacola, Grover Robinson, joining the program on a day we're announcing 2 more weeks of social distancing. This is never easy, and ultimately I think one of the best things to do is get your news, get your local news, focus on that. Pay attention to the world around you. But everybody today, I've got a lot of relatives in California and New York, and they're spreading stuff that is scaring the bejesus of people down here. And people need to understand every area is different. This is a situation where the decisions made by you compared to some of the decisions that are made even by Governor DeSantis when it comes to Miami and other places that have more right now testing going on. And then you go to a place like in L.A., or if you talk about what's happening in San Francisco, how hard has it been for you to sort of, you still have to be political about it, but how hard has it been for you to let people, the community, know that we are a different situation than some of the other people when they're watching CNN?
Well, I've had a couple of, I just had one of those, and I told the individual that I didn't think we were there at this particular time, and I thought that Governor DeSantis, and I appreciate Governor DeSantis' recommendation to really allow the different areas of Florida to operate differently because we're in different stages. I have friends that are commission and city friends, county and city friends in Broward County. They are having to fight a different thing than what we're fighting right now, and the measures that they're taking and that the governor's taking there are different than the ones here. So I think you really do. I think, Chad, you definitely hit on something. you got to treat it where you are. But the idea is you can't be complacent and simply say, well, we don't have as much here as they have there. This is a virus, and if we're complacent and we let up, we could easily have a flare-up. I think that the 2 weeks that we asked on was if we continue to press the way we've done, the way that the people of Northwest Florida have done with this. I would say they haven't embraced it, but they have worked to make it work, and they have complied, and that's the most important part of it. Nobody's happy with this, and I get it. When you see today and you see what kind of day it is, you wish you could get out there and be more involved in it. But there's a part of it that we can't do everything we want. Now, at the same time, in the city limits, every park is open. We're just asking that you not congregate with more than 10 people, and we ask that you do that. In fact, I went this afternoon while my wife came down before we had lunch downtown, and we walked. So we walked a little bit over at Bruce Beach. It was nice. There were some people there. It was a nice day out. It's good to get outside and do that. But, again, do it in a respectful, safe distance from everyone so that you and your spouse or significant other could enjoy it, but you don't do it in any way that's going to endanger somebody else's health there. So, we at Pensacola certainly understand the importance of what being outside is. Exercise, fresh air, that's part of your immune system. We understand that. We haven't shut down any parks yet, but we're asking you to think about how you utilize them differently. We are asking, again, we have some sporting things we talked today. I know this is normally a sports show you have here, but we've asked for our hard courts on tennis courts for you to play every other court to respect that space in between so that we don't have as many people there. The same thing, what we're asking for some of our stuff on our basketball courts we've had our kids have been playing. If they play 5-on-5, that's a side that's 10. No one else needs to be there watching. That's just we don't need to congregate in any large groups. That's the way this virus spreads. Being able to do things the right way and be the right way about it. And lastly, I guess, if you are ill and you are having impact from this, stay home. Even if you think if you're not sure if it's just cold or whatever, get tested and stay home until you find out the test. Because I know it's taken about a week. I know it's longer than what everybody wants. But if you can do that, if you end up being positive, you've prevented the spread significantly of this to other people, and that's what's going to slow down our economic recovery. We totally get that we are in challenging times, and we know, unfortunately, in asking for 2 more weeks, that's 2 more weeks of sacrifice from a lot of people. But we do think the economy is going to pick back up once we can get out of this. The only thing that's going to slow us down from recovery is continuing to have this virus around. So we really need people to do the right thing over the next 2 weeks. We can break this thing out, and then we can slowly come back into recovery and see things back open up and get back to the way things used to be, in a sense, and try to move in that direction. I mean, I think we're still pretty much a long way from being everything back to normal, but I think we can start pulling things back and opening things back up once we get past this 2 weeks if we don't have any relapses. Again, everything is sort of contingent on not having any relapses and seeing what the numbers bring back. We've got about 2,000 cases now that have been, at least 2,000 tests that have been done. We have confirmed cases right now, and I haven't checked today's. I was going off of yesterday's numbers. We're 20 in the Escambia County, so I have not gotten them. Usually somewhere between 5 and 6, I get the call from, or get the text from Sacred Heart as to what those numbers are for today. So hopefully we'll get back. It wouldn't be surprised if they go up. That's not what's concerning to me. What's overall concerning is the numbers and the percentages. And right now we're hitting around 7%. Over the last day, it's kind of trended down to 5%. So that's going in the right direction, but everyone's very cautious and saying that's not a trend yet. We need to get a couple more days under our belt and see what we get back. So, it's my hope that we're going to start seeing these numbers trend lower. And if that happens, that means the measures that you're taking right now, and I know everybody hates having to do all this stuff, but the measures you're taking are actually going to be making a difference.
Speaking with the mayor of Pensacola, Grover Robinson. I know very busy right now, so to be able to join us here on the Sports Drive, really big. And I've always appreciated our friendship and everything from what you've done. I thought it was great that you donated your salary to pay residents' bills, trash pickup, natural gas, and more. Because I know you, and if people don't, if you're just coming in here or you got stuck here and you don't want to go back to maybe your city in California and you're going to hunker down with your parents, whatever you are doing, people need to understand that I know from moving here about 7 or 8 years ago, I want to make this my home, and you know that we've gone through a lot in sports broadcasting, but that's sports. And as someone that loves my family that is from here, from Pensacola, born and raised, I know that this is more than just something where if you have to shut down one single small business because you grew up here, you went to Booker T. Washington High School, you live and breathe Pensacola. To make those decisions are not easy for you. So anybody out there that doesn't understand that every little small business or every person that has to file for unemployment is something that you don't want to see happen. I know that from a fact from meeting you, and we respect the heck out of what you've done. And I know all the decisions ultimately you have to pass on from up top, but you're doing a great job for our city, and I just want to let everybody know that.
Chad, I appreciate it. I was asked the other day, somebody asked me, they said, well, why'd you do this? I said, it's the same way I ran for office because I love this community and I wanted to get involved in this community. From my point of view, I sat last week and it hurt me physically to make the move that we had to do. I knew there were a lot of people hurting out there, and my thing was, how do I tell people it's going to be okay and we don't need to fear? And I thought, from my standpoint, it's hard to tell. You can tell somebody, but they're always like, well, you don't understand it. So for me to fully understand, to be able to communicate to people, we didn't need to be afraid. I was not willing. I was willing to go to the same extent that everybody else was and not take a salary at this particular time. So trust me, in my household, we're as interested in seeing recovery come back as anything else. But at the same time, I'm not going to risk the ultimate long-term economic success of my community by messing up in the short run. I think we've got a little bit longer to go, and then I think we can really begin to focus on recovery. But from my standpoint, I just thought it was a case of where I saw there was fear, and I understood the fear, but I wanted to communicate that it's okay, and I'm willing to be right there with you, and it's not just about ordering people to close. If they're going to close, then I need to be able to experience the same thing. And so for me, that's why I did it, and I wanted to clearly say we don't need to be afraid. We're going to come through this. We're going to get out of this. We're going to figure this thing out. And when we come back as an economic recovery, we're going to come back. I continue to look at some things. I think the stock market had a little down day today, but overall this week it's really bouncing back. I think it's that confidence that people are getting back and understanding what the virus is, and I think that's what we got to get back on. We got to get that confidence back. Same thing that you have in sports. It's just a different thing when you feel like you can't get something done, and it's difficult. When you have something you can't see, when you're fighting something that you cannot see, it's very hard to figure out what you're doing. But I'm confident that we're eventually going to figure this out. We're Americans. We will get this done. We're Northwest Floridians. There's nobody who I think is as resilient as Northwest Floridians. We're used to dealing with adversity, and this is just another adversity that we're having to go through, and we're going to get through it.
Well, right now we're living in different times. There are certain jobs that you can't do anything about, and I know you were someone with your family that would go to these places. But we've had Zoom meetings we tested this week down here where we had all 30 people from all the different stations on one computer at one point. I'm not a tech guy, but I felt at that point there was something that was going to happen, like I was going to get that little pinwheel up here when we had that many different people locating. But I know you guys are, because of technology and the way people can interact, a lot of people can still do their business and get the word out quickly. What I'm advocating right now in a time where we don't have right now sports going on when it comes to games is what we're doing right now. And it's something that it's letting people know with a voice in the community from 5 to 7 where on radio, on TV, I can let people know of what's happening. And I know people get things on their apps all the time, but if anything happens, I know that any communication level, I appreciate the time that you've given us here today, Mayor, but if there's anything, please feel free to always let me know, and I would love to be a voice to help it.
Well, Chad, thank you for what you do. You truly understand. I know you're all about sports, but you're more than that. You're all about community, and I think that I appreciate you having me on today. I do want to say that the city of Pensacola is committed to still outdoor recreation. While you may not be able to do it as much in team sports, getting out there and doing things out in the water, and in those in the woods in Northwest Florida, we highly encourage you to do those things. But just simply do them in a smaller surrounding with fewer people. I mean, I think we can all do that, and I think we're going to get through this. The sports are incredibly important to our psychology, incredibly important to building a strong body along with a strong mind and having a good immune system. So we certainly support sports. Even in this trying time, we're trying to keep our parks and recreation open for you to be able to utilize for what you need because we realize how if it's just going out and having a walk in a park, we understand that that's important and we want to be a part of it. But thank you for what you've done. You're not just about sports, you're about the community, and I appreciate you having me on for the opportunity to talk to your listeners today, and thank you for that chance.
Well, I appreciate it. And if you find the picture of the guy with the fish fry in groups of 5 or less, if I'm one of the first to text him, maybe we'll be one of the 5 that gets to eat it with him, so.
Sounds good. You take care.
All right. Appreciate it, Mayor. Go ahead.
Go order out tonight from a restaurant nearby. Go support a local restaurant.
I already have. I had 2 of them last night. I'm not so much what that says about me and my health, but yeah, I did. I went to 2 different places locally last night, so looking forward to doing it again.
Well, thank you. You take care.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that. As Mayor Grover Robinson joining us right there. Look, in a time without sports, there were so many questions, and I know Andrew McKay does a great job in the morning having a chance. They do a weekly interview on News Radio in the morning, but there were so many questions that, JP, that I could have got into it, but he knows how to answer it. He's not one of those guys that you ask a question, and it's going to be about 4 or 5 seconds. If you take a sip of your soda, you got to go right back into and then hand sanitize, by the way, and then take another sip. He knows what he's talking about. This is what he does for a living. He's a politician. But I do have to say, before he was a politician, he was the guy that you could grab a beer with after work and hang out at one of the local places. He's lived and breathed this local community. I've done a lot of events in the community over the last 10 years, and he's been part of it, even when Mayor Ashton Hayward was here. And he's just always been that kind of guy. And, he's a true Pensacolian like you are with your family and the people around here. And that hurts to see friends and family today that aren't going to be able to go to work. And it sucks. Look, our demeanor's changed since Creighton and St. John's at halftime. It has. We got that video of us sort of goofing around and then realized it was serious, but not at this point. We understand how quickly it can spread. That's the thing is I don't feel like today if someone asked me 50-50 chance if I walked around and did everything I do on a normal everyday basis, showed up to work, went to meetings with groups, did shopping, came back home, deadlifted over 1,000 pounds, the huge. If I did all that stuff and came home, I would be able to do the same stuff, and I don't believe that I would be at risk, but I understand you could be, and it also can spread. So because of that, I am going to take the precautionary measures like everybody else. It's okay to think that way, and it's okay also to understand what is at stake and not wanting other people to get sick. I think it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to want to feel like you should be able to go grab a beer on a Friday night with family and friends. It's okay to feel that way and also understand and accept the right thing to do is to stay home tonight. It's okay to feel that way.
Well, it's also okay to feel like if you need to get out, get out. I mean, the whole thing here that, people are being criticized for going out from people. And remember, yeah, you see cars that are out there on Davis and stuff, but remember, this is a big city. This is a tremendously big city. Davis Highway, no matter what. Look, even with hurricanes coming before, that road has been busy. We have to remember, this is the other part. For people that are criticizing people for getting out, understand something too. Even talking to Coach K today, people have never gone through anything like this. Mm-hmm. So if people are hesitant to understand how to do this, please take a second and understand we're all human beings in this. please don't criticize people. Instead, try to educate people and come at people with a kind heart.
Yeah.
Because if you don't come at people with a kind heart, then you're just as evil as everybody else out there. That's the one thing we have to remember on all this. So before we call people an idiot or whatever, I mean, I saw it today, going out to get groceries, just the general groceries. People out there going, what are you doing out here? Look at all these people walking in here to BJ's and whatever. Yeah, absolutely. But when you walk in, they hand you a sanitizing wipe and things like that. People are not everybody, but people are. It's hard to practice social distancing in a grocery store or a place like that because there's so many people. But doing it the best you can. People are trying this, but at the same time, we have to remember, even young people. Not all young people are the same, but this is the first time we've ever been uncomfortable. It's the first time I've ever been uncomfortable in my daily life. Now I'm finding that I was living my life more like a quarantine than ever. I didn't realize that I was actually quarantining my entire life. Just
that's we have. I mean,
that's what I was doing. But I think it's important to remember. I say this all the time. We're all in this together, and the only way we're going to get through this is together. Not one person can change this. One person can do their part, but teach other people. Love other people right now. That doesn't mean you have to touch anybody or whatever, but just instead of criticizing people, look, we see it in politics enough. That's why I hate talking politics, because no matter what, first thing people ask you Republican or Democrat? You support Trump or do you support Obama? It doesn't matter. It's what are your beliefs? Instead, like if trying to find the opposite in somebody, how about we find the things we like? So then we can talk. Then we can move forward. If we did this, think about that as a nation, if we did that as a whole, what we could be. But I'm saying from a small perspective here, this is a great community. Mayor Grover Robinson, he grew up here. I grew up here in the north end of the county. I love this place. I don't want to go anywhere else. I've visited other places, but this is my home, and I want this to be my home forever. And I love the people here. They can all drive, but I love the people.
And in a time, too, look, donating the salary to pay residents' bills for trash pickup natural gas is not going to change the overall perspective where everybody is out there now when they come back and everybody's going to be wealthier than ever. We understand that. What the difference is, while other guys and politicians out there, some snake oil salesmen, are buying stock and dropping stock right before the market was about to crash, and so they can make a little more money as the businesses around their districts and around who they represent were falling like that, he's out here donating his salary. I just want to make that clear. That's the difference between the mayor and the guy representing us and some of the people up there in D.C. I thought it was funny, the whole only necessary businesses are open, so why is Capitol Hill not shut down? But I'm not going to get into it. Just back to sports and all the big games this week. I did enjoy the World Series games yesterday on FS1. I got Bill Fecky and I were texting back and forth. I did pick the Cubs, and they came through. Big hit from Zobrist. We're coming back for more. It's the Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola and on Blab TV.
I'm Anna Kimes, host of ESPN Daily. Each morning, we bring you a deep dive into a single story from one of ESPN's hundreds of reporters. ESPN Daily is presented by ADT. Whether you want just the basics or all the bells and whistles, ADT can work with you to customize a system to help protect your home in a way that works for you and your budget. All ADT products are rigorously tested to deliver the quality you expect from ADT, the most trusted name in security. Help protect your home today with ADT.
Welcome to Bow! Okay, hi, what are we doing today?
I need something that screams something fun. Nothing too on the face, nothing too off the face, but also totally hot.
So I have the perfect thing. It's the most food mullet. You're totally business in the front, but tailgate in the back. It's a fat party. People are having fun. Snap. All your friends are going to be like, whoa, awesome setup. Everyone else is going to be all jelly, okay?
Just like a killer mullet, Moe's Catering will turn the back of your ride into a tailgate party that's sure to turn some heads. Just order ahead and pick it up on your way.
Moe's Southwest Grill, now open in Pace on Highway 90 next to Publix grocery store.
Being cooped up in the house doesn't mean you can't still enjoy some amazing culinary creations from the best restaurants on the beach. Several area restaurants like Breadfish, Bluefish, H2O, Riptides, and Fish Heads on Pensacola Beach are now offering curbside pickup and online ordering through your favorite food delivery apps for most of the regular menu items. Check out the menus and information at PensacolaBeach.com. Spend your spring locally and enjoy the local beach restaurant food you already know and love. PensacolaBeach.com.
Ready, set, go for savings at Bob Tyler Toyota.
Due to record sales, I authorize our staff to give you trade-in values well over Black Book prices. We need your car. Bring your vehicle in today for complimentary, fast appraisal. During this buyback event, we'll buy your car for top dollar even if you don't purchase a car from us at Bob Tyler Toyota. Our cars are local trade-ins, and we only sell cars that we've inspected. We need your car, and we'll give you well over Black Book value.
Owner-operators, will you be successful in 2020? Increase your profits this year by leasing a new or gently used semi-truck from SFI Trucks. Leasing from SFI means driving with confidence in a new truck spec'd for cost savings, comfort, and safety. And your bumper-to-bumper warranty covers just about everything during the entire length of your lease. Find out what kind of deal you can get. No and low money down payment options available. Learn more at sfitrucks.com. That's sfitrucks.com.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
We do sports, and that's all we do. We're your hometown sports station, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
And welcome back, Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Simulcast each and every day here on Blab TV. Chad Brilliante with you outside. JP doing a great job each and every day. 850-623-1330 is the number to be part of this show. As, a lot of questions I wanted to continue with the mayor, but only so much time. It would have been nice to ask him some questions. Where is the most convenient way right now people can find a way to maybe make some extra income? Because there are, my yard right now, first off, there's a couple things happening. We have a bunch of time, and you just got home at a time where you go, oh, crap, because if you have any type of foliage or anything with the trees or anything happening in the spring, everything that you were like, honey, going to save some money turning off the sprinklers and going to go ahead and not worry about those trees without leaves. It's a blitzkrieg that has happened in the last week. You know my backyard. That backyard we ran around and played a little soccer out there with Leighton, the better parts, Brittany and Leighton. That whole yard now, leaves everywhere. And I've already 2 times in the last 3 days had to take the lawnmower. Yeah, I do the lazy way, the lawnmower, and then rake up the rest of the leaves. But there are people out there that were bartenders or people that were 23, and they're trying to pay that to go to college, or they're trying to get that money so they can maybe graduate college or pay off those student loans, that people want to make 20, want to make $40 trying to get some of it. And I know if you distance yourself, you communicate online and say, hey, come to the door, we'll let you come out. And you can be in groups of less than 8 or whatever, but have people come over. There are people that need yard work. There are people that need stuff done. They're hiring people at big warehouses and places that are still working. And, JP, I know you have more on that.
Yeah, it's something that, I saw earlier today, and shout out to Pensacola News Journal. They've been awesome through all this.
Yeah.
I know, we Brian Ahatz and those guys, of course, we've worked with those guys, talked to them before. They do such a good job over there, but the whole crew has been fantastic. I believe online right now, I think they've kind of made it free, where normally, you pay whatever a month to have the digital Pensacola News Journal. Some people get the paper. But this is I'm all digital here with my Google fingers. But on the Pensacola News Journal, they have an article, and I think it's really awesome. It's Pensacola businesses hiring right now during the pandemic, and you can email them if you're hiring. But there's plenty of, I'm going to list a few of them, but you need to go on there to the pnj.com, look for it for, let's see, Pensacola businesses hiring during pandemic. You'll see it, click on it, and there is an entire list. It goes down from Fresh Market, Big Lots, Walmart Neighborhood Market on 9 Mile Road, Family Dollar Store, Target, Grocery Supply Company, Publix, Chick-fil-A, BJ's, Sam's Club, Popeyes, Pizza. The list continues to go. There's a big list here. And I think it's important just because, like what you said, there's a lot of people, a lot of friends of ours that lost their job. I know there's a couple people that are friends of mine that lost their job, that asking who's hiring. And I think it's important. For some people, they don't know where to look because for some people, they've never, some people never had to apply places. They just kind of met somebody and they're like, hey, send in an application, fill one out right here. Now people are trying to figure out, and the other thing is what's essential, what's open, what's not. And then people are scared because they don't want to get told no, and nobody knows who's hiring. And a lot of people are hiring right now, believe it or not. So go to the P&J right there. They've got a great article of everybody that's hiring. And if you guys know people that are hiring that I haven't mentioned or that aren't on the list, give us a call, let us know, because I think it's important right now for everybody to come together. And
absolutely.
Look, people are trying to make ends meet, and we're going to get through this. This is not going to be forever. That's the thing we have to remember. But for the time being, we got to come together and help each other.
Well, I know it's hurt you a lot based on, bachelorette parties now, groups of 8 and less. You can't have Long John Silver that you used to go as. You haven't popped out of a cake in months, you've been telling me. So I know it hurts us all. It does hurt us all.
Autumn's not listening. Because I'll be getting a text here in a minute.
No, Autumn. Okay, time out. Any of these, by the way, she should know better at this point.
She should.
Well, first off,
she knows.
I'd be impressed if I was married to someone that people would pay for the likeness. No, absolutely. That doesn't work. That is horrible advice for any marriage or any relationships.
I do have my rabbit sitting business. So
okay, yeah. Long John Silver might be a good name, though. Okay, but when it comes down to it, yes, people have had to figure out. JP does not do that, by the way. You actually probably because we have security cameras, you're here throughout most of the day coming back and forth. So
pretty much, yeah.
You can be, you could actually have people back you on that. So, who knows? So. No groups of 8. Somebody out there listening is like, Lord knows that's hurt my business, though. So
yeah,
the people we don't think of right there. There are a lot of businesses that we sort of push aside in life and don't talk too much about, but they also were affected by this. Just saying, for everybody's sake. Moving on. Sports, looking at the things going on right now. And to Brian Ahats and those other guys, they actually, their job, people have come up to me, I think about 19, 20 people, being like, what do you talk about with no sports? I'm like, well, have you listened to our show? We have plenty to still talk about because we create. It is harder to do show notes without the big game. Right now, probably I'd say 80% of our show would consist of March Madness right now. I'd say that would be the big topic. And the NFL draft and college football, we'd be into spring games. People would be battling for quarterback jobs and things like that. People would be coming back from those 75 to 80,000 plus stadiums, that would.
They are my video game.
Yes, they are.
Packed out.
But those guys, Brian and Eric and all the guys down there, Bill before that, and everybody that actually goes and shows up to these schools to get articles on everything going on locally, like they made their living off of local sports that are not happening. And so for them, they can't just be like, hey, let's take a look at the top 16 names in college football. DiCaprio Boodle is against Mac Hippenhammer, and they don't have a chance to do that kind of stuff.
Sounds exciting.
Lion King's pretty sweet there for Eastern Michigan. He does a really good job. When we come back, we are going to continue to take a look here at some of the stories from today. The Rookie with Dennis Quaid on at 7 tonight. Big time in prime time. Get away from the Tiger King for a few minutes to watch Dennis Quaid. Bruce Arians rules out Antonio Brown being fit for signing with the Bucks. He's not fit for his locker room, or insert any team on that one for locker room. If anybody's going to use this time for social distancing to maybe get his life back on track, people like that, 4 weeks from now, come back and say, I figured it all out, people. And maybe they'll give you another chance until they realize you're another con for about 5 more minutes and that you are the same old Antonio Brown.
Just take his Twitter account and he'll let you know.
No, nobody pay attention to Antonio Brown's Twitter account for humanity right now. We're coming back for more. It's the Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola and Blab TV.
Nick Saban has a message for us regarding the coronavirus.
First of all, I hope this message finds you and your family safe and well. On behalf of our program, we want to give thanks to all the medical professionals and caregivers in our state and across the country in these challenging times. Our daily routines have changed dramatically over these past weeks. As we have said to our team, we share the same message to all of you. Please understand the following guidelines of social distancing. We ask that everyone please wash your hands often. Stay at home if at all possible. And when you have to be out in public, make sure you keep 6 feet between you and the nearest person. We are in this together, and as one team we will get through these difficult times. And together we look forward to all that's to come, like the opportunity to play college football this fall. But the best and safest way to ensure that happens is to listen to the experts, follow their guidelines, and take care of each other. Stay safe and roll Tide.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Bowling is a sport that will last you a lifetime, and at Cordova Lanes on Airport Boulevard, every night there is something exciting happening. Like on Tuesday and Thursday, it's penny a pin. Bowl 100, pay $1. Or how about starting your weekend off right by reserving a lane for just $25 at Moonlight Bowling. Enjoy a fresh-made pizza and the lowest pitcher prices in Pensacola. So what are you waiting for? It's time to roll your way into Cordova Lanes and experience fun like never before.
Welcome to Bow! Okay, hi, what are we doing today?
I need something that screams something fun. Nothing too on the face, nothing too off the face, but also totally hot.
So I have the perfect thing. It's the most food mullet. You're totally business in the front, but tailgate in the back. It's a fat party. People are having fun. Snap. All your friends are going to be like, whoa, awesome setup. Everyone else is going to be all jelly, okay?
Just like a killer mullet, Moe's Catering will turn the back of your ride into a tailgate party that's sure to turn some heads. Just order ahead and pick it up on your way.
Moe's Southwest Grill, now open in Pace on Highway 90 next to Publix grocery store.
I'm Mina Kimes, host of ESPN Daily. Each morning, we bring you a deep dive into a single story from one of ESPN's hundreds of reporters. ESPN Daily is presented by ADT. Whether you want just the basics or all the bells and whistles, ADT can work with you to customize a system to help protect your home in a way that works for you and your budget. All ADT products are rigorously tested to deliver the quality you expect from ADT, the most trusted name in security. Help protect your home today with ADT.
This is Davis Allen from Sports Call with Davis and Justin. You're listening to the Sports Drive with Chad Brilliante on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back. Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola. If you can still hear, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. This is the problem when you put somebody on the board that has no hearing.
What? I know.
Exactly.
I agree.
The only person, I don't feel as bad for you, for our listeners out there, yes, and I do feel bad, but Jim Haslett, former coach of the Saints, who's friends with Coach K, and he's been on the show, he sits by me, and I didn't have any of it turned in. There are many buttons over here. It's sort of like an air traffic controller. There are many buttons, but you don't have to hit them all.
Air traffic controllers, please
Someone's
don't
like,
call
please. Well, no, what I'm saying is the amount of buttons over here, but you don't use them all. If you go in the front of any pilot knows you're not going to hit all the buttons up front. You better not, or somebody's in trouble. But they're all there for a reason if you need it. Well, the ones on the side, though, were turned down during the break, and Jim was getting ready, and I had it turned down, and we come back with some music, and it was like some heavy metal rock, too, like blah, 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 and he takes off the headset and just tosses it. He's like, like the worst. You just Jim Haslett's one of the tough guys of the NFL. He was the defensive rookie of the year when he played linebacker back in the day for the Buffalo Bills and for Coach K. Stevenson, a guy who played as one of the nasty guys, coached as one of those tough guys, and is still doing that these days. You don't become a linebackers coach and you're going to be weak. And you could tell at this point that was the one thing that was going to take him down is some dude sitting here that can't hear anything and blasting his eardrum. So in a way, I took out Jim Haslett.
You're lucky that you survived.
Yeah. The next move, I was already in ready to go defense mode. Right? He's a good guy though. When we look right now at some of the stories that first up, Booger McFarland is talking a lot right now. He's not obviously he's not a Gardner Minshew fan. I'll tell you that much. He said the Jags. This is what now Booger McFarland also is the guy when it's 17-14 to say, you know what? If this team can find a way to march down the field, they're down by 3 right now. If they can march down the field and get that field goal, they can tie it up. He'll say things like that, but he's a smart man. Also, circling live football. That had to take the cake, I think, during the Houston-Buffalo game when he was circling the live football games. He was John Madden it while it was going on live. Like, look over here. You can see this. Like, Booger, this is live.
Genius.
Yeah. But he also
put him back on the mobile.
He also is one of 2 people in a booth on Monday night. He's gone from the side wheel cart, the extension wheel cart on the sidelines that almost took out half the cheerleaders in the NFL, to in the booth with Joe Tessitore. So whatever we say, whatever people talk about guys like Joe Buck, you know what? They're getting contracts with a lot of extra zeros. And Booger, good for you. He's done something, so good for you.
I blame it all
buddy.
on Peyton Manning. Because we could get rid of that if we had Peyton Manning. But Peyton Manning said no.
Well, personally, I think Bill Walton sets the bar to a level where anybody can get on TV. I mean, he was a former player, and the Conference of Champions, your conference, hasn't won a championship in a while. That's what he calls it. Conference of
talk to them
Champions.
about that.
Is something where
Well,
I think he said
that's actually true though, because think about it.
When
Every
he
year
played,
you're gonna have
yeah.
a conference champion too, though.
That's
so
true.
See, they're smart.
That's true.
That's about it.
Yep, that is true. But Booger McFarland said Jags must be focused right now on getting Trevor Lawrence at number 1 pick in the draft, based on that
anyway.
they only have Gardner Minshew and Josh Dobbs as their quarterbacks. That's not a good thing to have, but for the love that is all that is holy, let's not just immediately take Washington, teams like Detroit, since he should be better, but the Jets and possibility of teams like the Finns, let's not take them out of the race. The stash, are you doing the stash right now? Is that where we're going?
Absolutely.
Let's keep that away from the hands. We haven't done sanitizer in a few minutes.
I got sanitizer back here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
You're holding out?
Don't worry about it. You got sanitizer beside you?
Yeah, too many scars right now on my hands. I've been going.
Doesn't matter. Do your
Thank you
part.
for the. I got to go home to the stuff that I've been. The micro sure that stuff works. This stuff works too, but
do your part.
I know I am. Get some screams on here. I got about 4 or 5 cuts. If we can zoom in on these, this is not fun, but. Well, that
I think the Jags, though, in all honesty, are gonna be able to get Trevor Lawrence anyway.
That finger right there is burning, but it's all right. I'll tough it out. Jim Haslett toughed it out on the show with me.
You stood that on the floor.
Yeah, it hurt. But I'm gonna zoom in on this finger.
Going back to it, I think the Jags are gonna get Trevor Lawrence anyway. That's a dumpster fire right now. I like Gardner Minshew. I don't think he's elite. I don't know though. I mean, give the guy some time, but they're not. Here's the thing: they're not putting anything around him.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to walk out of Jacksonville.
Baby Chark out there.
Well, poor guy.
Right now, Jacksonville, how quickly can we think of any other team right now outside of the Florida Marlins that was pretty much at that point we understood what Wayne Huizenga was doing when he just bailed out everybody that year after winning the World Series? But Jacksonville, have we seen someone fall from grace so quickly when it comes to how close they were against the New England Patriots? Really a second half of you make a couple good plays with a UCF quarterback that is now not popping bottles these days at all. He's not doing that, but good old Blake. He had a couple good games. But has the team fallen so quickly? That was 2.5 years ago.
Wasn't it?
That wasn't that long ago. That was 2.5 years ago that happened. And they were one pass away from going to the Super Bowl, and now they're not even relevant. That's a quick time too. And they did that, remember, with a mediocre quarterback. Usually teams that do it with a mediocre quarterback have a better chance long term to survive because it's not just one guy carrying the whole team. We know when Peyton Manning left the Colts and Curtis Cobain Pater was out there with the long hair, bro, throwing for 2-14 records, they were going to be bad. We understood when other guys like Andrew Luck got hurt, they weren't going to be as good. Most teams that have a Blake Bortles at quarterback still can consistently find that. They've been awful. Nick Foles, if someone would have said you get Nick Foles 2 years later, they would think you're one step closer to winning a Super Bowl. I know it's a hard market to get people to come to, but, man, it's not been good.
Well, I think the thing about the 2018 Chargers that was the year, like we said, everybody thought they were going to come up to the Patriots, and they're finally going to beat the Patriots. They won the wild card playoff game, and everything was rolling for them. And then they were 12-4 in the regular season, and then they lose the Patriots 41-28, which still wasn't bad.
Yeah.
And then they turn around and you look at last year, and yeah, so now they're set up to get Justin Herbert. That's the only team I can think of that comes close right now to mind is a team like that. But for the Jaguars, I mean, here's the thing: is the Jaguars, when you look at them, I know they got Tyler Eifert. People are like, yes. Remember, you may get 2 weeks of Tyler Eifert because he can't even. Well, this is actually good. I mean, for him right now, not having to do the training and things like that, he can try to heal up because it's a guy. When he's played, he's been good. He's been a touchdown machine. I won't say he's been a reception guy, but just a touchdown machine. And, yeah, you have DJ Chark and D.D. Westbrook. Those guys are good. Leonard Fournette, I think, is good, but they never utilize him enough. The one game where he was like, listen, let me run the football, he came over 200 yards, and the next game he had 41 yards with like 5 carries. Mm-hmm. So that Marrone and what they're doing there, I have no idea. You know, when I talk about teams like this, I want to know what's their identity. What is their identity? I mean, look, they got rid of Nick Foles. That's good for them. That's a good move moving forward here. But with Gardner Minshew, you still have to set the young man up for success. The defense, to me, is like, what's the defense going to be? I mean, right now they have Josh Allen, and Josh Allen's awesome. But outside of that, I mean, what do you truly got? That's where I question a team like this. And, you know, you're talking about a team that's possibly moving overseas. I don't know. I hate it because I do like Gardner Minshew. But what are you putting around the young man? How are you helping him succeed?
You know, these quarterbacks, though, they're lingering on a little more between Jameis and Cam Newton. And, you know, it's funny to think, though, the NFC South, if Jameis Winston was to stay, there would be a chance, actually, where you would have a number of different – think about it. You would have 5 quarterbacks. How crazy is that? That we're all either champions in their own regard. Think about that. You'd have Tom Brady.
Andy Dalton.
Not at all. Tom Brady, Drew Brees. Fake one for Matt Ryan there, 28-3 in his own way. But that's the one that's left out. Jameis Winston won a national title. Cam Newton, national title. Teddy Bridgewater was undefeated last year, so a champion. A lot of quarterbacks still currently in it. Now we expect Cam and we expect Jameis to be in a team very soon. But we'll see. They're lingering on because they seem to be the stories. As hundreds of millions sit around right now, they seem to be the stories people are latching onto to try to figure out where they'll go next.
Well,
they don't mind owning it right there. We do have to take a break. When we come back, we'll get to more on what's going on in the NFL. We'll get into more of our March Madness. I tell you what, as we'll take a look at the fan bases that would disown their own kids if they saw them in another hat in the rivals. That's a good one right there. There's some good ones. You might know a couple here in the South. It's all coming back right here. It's the Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Simulcast each and every night on Blab TV.
I'm Mina Kimes, host of ESPN Daily. Each morning, we bring you a deep dive into a single story from one of ESPN's hundreds of reporters. ESPN Daily is presented by ADT. Whether you want just the basics or all the bells and whistles, ADT can work with you to customize a system to help protect your home in a way that works for you and your budget. All ADT products are rigorously tested to deliver the quality you expect from ADT, the most trusted name in security. Help protect your home today with ADT.
Look, chicken restaurants are nothing new. But if you're saying, been there, done that, it tastes like chicken. Well, if your friends offer you a brand new convertible or a broken down station wagon with 3 wheels, do you say, hey, they're both cars? Well, the people have spoken. Mr. Pollo on 9th Avenue was voted top 100 places to eat in the country by Yelp at number 61. Making chicken great again, America. It's that good. Try it and you'll be hooked for life. The freshest ingredients and the perfect catering for any big party. Mr. Pollo. It means chicken.
Introducing a new podcast, ESPN Daily, hosted by me, Mina Kimes. When you want to go beyond your feed, when you want to get inside the score, when you want to get behind the highlight, there's ESPN Daily. Go deeper into the stories of the moment. Get the exclusive access and insider perspective that only ESPN can give you. The best sports story all day, 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week. ESPN Daily. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Ranger Station.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to report a bear sighting in the forest. 1 second, I'm having a smoke. Next thing I know, I'm face-to-face with Smokey Bear. Wow. And he told me it only takes 1 spark to start a wildfire.
Did you know 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans?
I had no idea.
That's why Smokey's famous and you're not. If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Like all of us, small businesses are being affected and impacted by these uncertain times. But we will get through this together. When you can, please try to support your local restaurants, bars, or any other establishments that are still open for carry-out or delivery. The following businesses continue to serve their communities and customers by remaining open, and they need your support.
Moe's Southwest Grill, open for pickup and delivery.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
And welcome back. Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. First time I've heard this song, by the way.
Still better than bands.
Listen, I don't mind it. Yeah, listen, I'm not. My playlist right now goes from like the Wu-Tang Clan to right now Disney princess songs. And then an Irish jig that we really got into. We started doing Irish dance parties for St. Patrick's Day. So I'm the last one to judge right now, okay? Capiche?
So I can judge, right? You said you're the last one. I'll take that.
You can always judge. You know how, as a Pats fan, the one good thing about being a Patriots fan...
Never a good way to start a conversation.
It is, because it goes in one ear out the other.
Oh, fair enough.
It's like, people are talking, you guys cheated, you got this, you guys are a bunch of... Bill Belichick's terrible, your owner's down there in South Beach being slippery, you have all these things that are happening, I'm just like, gosh, I wonder if Brittany made that amazing pasta again this week. Oh, my God. She did.
There's one thing a Patriot fan doesn't like, it's facts, unless you're talking about championships.
It's just... only reason that they're relevant, think about it, if this team would be the Bengals right now,
Who's
which
that?
the sidelines were part of us.
They still have a team?
They're giving Bill Belichick awards. Did you see that? NFL 100? Did you?
It's actually a
did you
trick.
see that?
It's actually a
Did you
trick.
know they're giving him awards right now.
They're setting him up. I think it's genius.
That is how, right in the face. When people we're watching these OJ. If anybody's been watching OJ, everyone's like, well, we don't have much time. I've seen more Ozark posts. Tiger King. The one thing that we do know is that everything that you had no clue, because Netflix has like 1 billion different TV shows and movies now, everybody in the world knows what they are now. I've seen Ozark comes out today. Tiger King people have been going to town with Joe Exotic. Not a good idea to do. But I think it's hilarious sometimes, to the point of where people need to jump onto something. But I think if you think about, if I gave you the read and describe by the Tiger King, I have seen it. Have you seen it? Okay. Now, right now, currently, if I describe this to you, would your mom or dad let you into the house if you said, this is what I want to do, spending my time over here on the break? Okay? I'm going to read you the description, which is actually true of the show. But I'm going to read you the description of what it is, and you tell me whether or not at that point you would think the guy is sane who said, I love it. Because I actually have enjoyed it, and many people have. Here's the description. Joe Exotic is a gay mullet extremist country music singer who sells tigers while members of their team get arms bit off by those tigers, while him and his 2 male lovers are planning to kill a woman who only wears cat yoga pants but is not hot, and they sell to a man that rides an elephant he truly thinks is his best friend, as he lures young people to pay them $100 a week in Myrtle Beach. Plus a drug lord from South Florida who makes tiny suits with his wife for their pet spiders are some of their best friends.
You know what that sounds like?
You think at that point your parents or anybody would let you in the house comfortably, like that's what's your favorite?
You know what it sounds like?
Based on the read.
You took a bunch of criminals' articles and threw it together and mixed it, and that's what happened. When you jumbled it and then said, okay, boom, you threw it out there, and that's what happened. No, that sounds like reading that just gives me a headache.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, honestly, if you had somebody, Robert Goulet, when Will Ferrell used to do the Papa, I love it when you call me Big Papa, and to sing the throw your hands in the air if you think you're a player, like throwing those. If you read out rap songs, it would not be pretty cool either. You don't need to do that. Jumps like a trunk. People don't need that. Let me see that thong. Doesn't work that way. But if you describe this show to people would probably disown you. But it's been pretty entertaining. I mean, besides the murder part, and all the other crap, he's got a sweet mullet. That's all.
So does Mike Gundy.
Does he still, though? We don't know. He's been quarantined. They should
he's got a sick mullet right now.
He should do the mullet cam of what he's up to.
I saw Blake Shelton has a mullet now. We got plenty of country music fans around here.
850.
It's been a while since he's got a mullet.
623-1330. When we come back, we are going to break down Andy Reid style. We're going to break down.
Your papers are about to fall over.
I know. They're all right here. Do you want to wear this mask, by the way? I showed people.
No,
no,
I do not.
We're not going to go with that. Apparently, this mask did not approve.
Inappropriate.
It's not inappropriate. That would cover all 3 entities of making sure that people are safe. The eyes, the nose, and the ear. Apparently, the design was not approved, though. So, I don't know. Can't do anything else to help people after that. Just trying to help people.
It's probably for the best that you don't. It's probably for the best you're the spokesperson and not the person making it.
That's right.
Here, Chad, just talk.
They didn't have my name right. That wasn't me. That was another guy, Brillant, right there.
Good old Brillant.
March Madness, I'll tell you what, when we come back, fan bases that would disown you if you were shown with your rival in the house. We'll start that when we come back on the Sports Drive. Second hour to go. Thanks again to the mayor, Grover Robinson, as Grover Robinson joining us early on in the show to talk about right now the announcement, 2 more weeks of social distancing. Governor DeSantis has made the announcement that he has shut down right now, or they're actually checking from Louisiana and all over to make sure, with barriers around our city, to make sure and through getting in the state of Florida. I have no problem with that. 500 people yesterday in New Orleans are tested positive.
This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM and 99.1 FM, the only local station that talks sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From Gullick and Wingo to the Sports Drive with Chad Brillante. Plus talk football with Coach K at noon, sports call every Saturday. If you'd like to partner with us as an advertiser or a promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Coming up on the Sports Drive, we're going to break into more March Madness, the real March Madness, into some of the fun stories. We'll get into some NFL talk and why Gardner Minshew, apparently, according to Booger McFarland, is going to guarantee the #1 pick for the Jacksonville Jags. That's not a compliment.
Has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. It's across the middle, and it's caught for the first. It's Baldwin shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His third of the day. Doug Baldwin.
Derek Brooks, who ran back 3 interceptions for touchdowns in the regular season, does it to cement the Super Bowl.
Boxing's elite, the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
Brockman beaten. The result that's come up on screens that Gatlin's taken it. Goodness me, it was a blue American vest, 992 the Gatlin. 992 by the American champion to take gold.
Another Watson is wearing a green jacket at Augusta. And this time, his name is Bubba. Scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmitt Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome back, Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Thanks for joining us live here. We have not recorded our voices here today. We're going strong. We're live. We're social distancing ourselves. Some people in this room purposely. See Justin Patrick over there, by the way. I think he's part of that. But I hope everybody is you're outside the box. At that door, I've got a bungee over here. Indiana Jones style. I'm going to latch that thing back up. That's why I got that door. Remember when that door handle, were you here when that door handle opened both ways? People would just...
Nope.
It's caused some serious stuff.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
It looks like the corner of that.
But some people still think it's that way. That have been here from day one, and boom. And it's
Jeff Williams, if he's listening, I remember he did that.
Listen, let's not call out Notre Dame fans in a time where people are already hurting. So
we haven't called out Notre Dame fans in a while. I just figured it was a good time to.
Well, when it comes down to the stuff going on right now, we're still waiting on some of the big news. MLB union agrees on stipulations for return. Look, Major League Baseball will be one of the first to make decisions when it comes down to it. I think based on that, we know that it's any outdoor events where you can play with space. Baseball is a game played with a lot of space. And it's a game where they don't want to do it without the fans. I saw LeBron James who's a king. I have not heard from the king. Him and Queen Latifah are supposed to make some decisions for us, and apparently royalty's not stepping up in this situation. No, listen, Prince passed away. He has an excuse at least. But when it comes down to everything going on in Major League Baseball, we just have to wait. We have to be patient. But they have a better chance to come back than a sport like basketball or football immediately, where the sport is played right there in the trenches. You're breathing on people left and right. It's a sport where you can distance yourself. Immediately, they have to make rules, though. I should be on that rules committee. We'll have fun with it. People that there are safe zones, or they have to wear, dog collars, the shot collars. People in the outfield that are trying to run down a ball right next to each other, which should probably distance themselves 6 feet away from each other anyway from those Benny Hill collisions. Whoop, 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 whoop. Go ahead and make sure if anybody gets within 6 feet, they get zapped until they do. When you get to first base, immediately you have to start leading off. There's no talking. What's up, Rizzo? How you been, man? Doing good? Family still okay? Yeah. I know. I beat Call of Duty 9 times. Make sure that they're always they have to be separated by 6 feet at all times.
No, I think thinking about that reminded me of the two middle infielders on minor league back to the majors. Remember the Buzz?
Yep, the middle fingers.
Yeah, no, not that.
Infielders.
Scott Bakula and Roger Dorn, those guys or whatever. And they have the middle infielders. They're having trouble, like the Twins, remember?
Yeah.
And then they can't get along. They always fumble the ball, make an error or whatever. And so they put them on a leash. And whenever they get to second base, the leash runs out and they both are going for a ball and it gets their neck. You start doing that. Keep guys 6 feet apart. Except look, here's the thing. If you're an infielder, that would be perfect, I guess, for running. It would mean nothing. You have to go unhook your leash every time.
Well, Major League Baseball agreed in 2020 they will not start until each of these conditions are met. There are no bans on mass gatherings that would limit the ability to play in front of fans. I know LeBron had said, what's basketball without fans? People need to make some sacrifices. I think all sports without the fans in the crowd would be horrible. I think if you had to pick one sport more than any other sport where they could not go without the fans, pretty much college football. I mean, somebody out there listening to the Max, we do it every Saturday on TV. Action football. Have you seen us?
They have shirts.
The Eastern Michigan versus Kent State games. They social distance for years. Jacksonville, the Jaguars they should be the experts on this. They should have been brought in. How many games have been blacked out? But
that's why the Chargers fans stay away from the games.
They knew it coming. They were these visionaries.
Geniuses.
Houston, the Astros were trying to give people the signs this was coming for years.
They didn't have enough trash cans.
They banged too many times, and then they had to distance themselves from it. But when it comes down to there will be no bans on that. I'm fine with that. There are no travel restrictions through the United States and Canada. Medical experts determine there will be no health risk for players. Fans, with the commissioners and unions, still able to revisit the idea of playing in empty stadiums. So basically at this point, until all these are met, they're not going to play. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just hey, we're ready to play ball. Until there are no travel bans, there are no bans on mass gatherings, there are no medical experts that determine there's no health risk. This is going to be like the old smelling salt days. Get them back on the field, Rock. None of that. It's going to be whether or not they're able to play is going to be pretty much the safe zone. And we got to be honest, every single city is going to deal with this different. I mean, right now in San Francisco, I don't think a lot of people in San Francisco or New York City, those cities are not thinking right now about baseball, even though there's some cities that pack out baseball. Not as much Mets, but Yankees and the Giants. So you think about that. If you look at people in probably around here in Tampa and other places, they're probably not thinking as much. I mean, Rays fans have been social distancing for a while as well, but they're not thinking of that.
Fans.
That Trop has things going on in there anyway. I wouldn't go in there.
It's that Dolphin.
Dollar beer night to get over it.
Marlins Stadium, thank goodness they got rid of that thing.
That's right. But it looks like this isn't going to happen anytime soon, and we've accepted it at this point. We have to. So Major League Baseball, the people talking about, there are people holding on to the words of optimism of hearing Easter. We will be back for Easter. That's not going to happen. I appreciate the optimism from anybody saying that.
Absolutely
sometimes actually the president should not be misleading people into believing we're coming back for Easter. But at the same time,
the business side of things
I know,
too.
But we're not. It's there's things you can do, absolutely.
And I think it's important because, look, I'm not going to get into all this, but what he's trying to say for people that want to just absolutely bash him, and I agree with things he's done. I disagree with things he's done. I think
I concur on that. That's why we talk sports. Yeah.
What is best for everybody is all I care about. That's in the end. That's what I care about because I'm one of those people. But just to shut down everything, we got to be careful because if it goes down too long, this could be a lot worse. And we have to weigh out is shutting this stuff down. What happens in all this if we shut down for too long? You're talking about the recession and everything else because people will die, and I know people are dying now, but there's so much involved in this, and that's like you said, that's why we talk sports and not politics in this. But be hesitant before you make a judgment on that.
It's funny because over the years, the one thing that we were ready for was pretty much because my dad worked in government with Lockheed Martin, and I know a lot of things, and working around with good people. We've been blessed in the media to be in places where other people might not get the opportunity. Working with people at News Radio downstairs and working in the news. I know with WER and the folks down there you've worked with throughout the years, and I have myself as well with Blab TV, everybody. We've had a chance to learn more things than probably a lot of people would know. But at the same time, I'll tell you straight up, we were prepared to fight any battle when it came to nukes, when it came to Kim Jong-un, even the crazies of the world where President Trump would go over there and they looked at him as a celebrity. So many things across the board. But the one thing we weren't ready for was to try to figure everything out to battle something we couldn't see. I mean, not to say that we weren't ready for defense on things that were chemically put into the waters or things like that through our power system, that everybody has seen those documentaries and the crazies of what can happen. But this was something that the whole world was fighting. It wasn't the United States versus everybody else. We are all fighting this together, and everybody's figuring this out. And there has been blueprints, but it's not easy. Like I said, I think the things that are happening right now in New York, where 50% of people could get it over that, and they're running out of beds, that's not the same, and that's not fair to think that what's happening there, where millions every day go through the subway system and touch every handlebar, and are mass groups where it spreads like wildfire, compared to if you go to somewhere like Jay, or you go somewhere, people out there in Jay.
Be careful talking about them.
Well, no, I'm talking about Jay and Century. People, whether they want to or not, social distance themselves from their mailbox. I mean, it takes 2 or 3 minutes to walk out there, and that's using one of those gators on the four-wheeler. So you got to realize that we live in different areas, so it's not fair to compare everybody that way. It's just not going to be. And I think as the mayor joined us earlier today to talk about that, we are in a different city. But in Pensacola, we're a little larger than what people are dealing with in Perry, Florida, or Lake City. It's a little bit different today on that because we do have a lot of people, and businesses, go out there and support your local business. Get out there. We have a number of them out here and have a chance to be part of that. 850-623-1330 is the number. Taking a look here. Let's start our March Madness. Let's get into that. Here we go. All right. Getting set to go here for our March Madness Sweet 16 brackets. We've already broke down some fun ones throughout the last week. Today's fan bases that would disown you if you cheered for the other team or came home with their apparel. Unless you go to the college and make a lot of money for their family, then I think they'll allow you and accept that. Here it is. Let's start things off. There might be a number of SEC teams in this as well. Our bracketologists on this, sitting across on the other side of the glass, JP. Are we ready? Let's make this happen.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Johnny B. Good style. Let's make this happen. Number 1 seed. No shocker here, because they would probably come after me for not making them number 1. Alabama, the Crimson Tide, sitting at number 1, going up against the number 16 seed, which is sitting there in L.A. Laker basketball.
Oh, Alabama. It's
moving on. Okay.
I think
I've lived on the West Coast, though. If you say the wrong thing, you might get shanked in the parking lot.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You might get shanked. Down here with Alabama, you have no idea what they're coming after you with. It could be a tractor.
I know.
It could be a gun.
Percentages are higher with shanks in a parking garage than they are from the shotgun.
I'm going to take you to Jay, Florida, or I'm going to take you somewhere in the middle of Alabama or Birmingham and let you say that. And
I'm going with Bama too. This is not one of those 1 seeds that's going to get upset. Next one here. Moving on here. This one I just did because I know people are out there listening, part of these fan bases, and they love their rivalry. Cardinals versus Cubs fans.
Cardinals. I think Cubs, they're a lot more, well, some of them are humble. I think that the true Cubs fans are a lot more humble. It's the ones, the bandwagon fans after they won the championship, that are the ones that are kind of ruthless at this point because Cubs fans understand it's been a long time, so they're just happy at this point. But for Cardinals fans, they always just seem to jab you the wrong way.
Sometimes, they actually Cardinal fans are into baseball.
Yes.
I mean, Andrew McKay down here, Greg McClose, one of our friends from 2 Minute Truck.
Look when they took the Rams away. St. Louis in general.
Yeah, St. Louis fans are invested wholeheartedly. Look at Albert Pujols. It was one thing to do a standing O for like a great player. They did it during a 4-game series every single time he had an at-bat. And they still will applaud players. Like Adron Chambers here from Pensacola. Like he goes back there, it's a huge part of it. He was him, David Freese, any guy, they'll still applaud anytime they see them back in that stadium. Moving on here, 4 versus 13 matchup. The Dukies, awesome baby with a capital A versus 13 seed. And this one's always scary. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh's a 13 seed.
They're probably upset I even did not mark them earlier. Also, I was running out of room with ink. They would have been higher, but based on that, I didn't feel like scratching things out on this hypothetical.
I'm going Steelers. Those are some ruthless people. The Steel City, that's not just talking about the city.
Have you seen Cameron Indoor, though? Those are doctors and lawyers screaming at you. Think about the ones in the nosebleeds that just are from the area outside Durham. And,
these are the blue-collar style people out there. I tell you, those are people you got to look out for. I understand the doctors and everything like that, but I'm telling you, Steeler fans, they're rough.
I'm not a fighting kind of guy. You aren't either. We're both, we try to get along with everybody. We've had people come up randomly and talk to us that we didn't know at times. And that guy did owe me with that Minnesota. He was grilling me. It looked like we were about to fist the cuff down there for the NFL tailgate show. But I do have to say, when we were Pittsburgh and the New York Jets are the two fan bases that shook my oysters so bad to the point where I was ready. And the Jets fan, I actually got up. He was also, I picked my fights. He was like 5'3", but it was one of those typical New York 5'3" guy. He had extra buttons going, even more than me. He was just ready. He looked like Danny DeVito, so I picked wisely. But he was loud.
Danny DeVito.
Yo, listen, So I threw some hot sauce in his eyes. And Frank's Red Hot does work if you want to win a fight. No, I didn't do that, but that was ready. This was in Vegas. I was ready to go. But the Steelers, they've confronted me trying to make some noise about the Patriots, and so I backed off on that one. So I'll go Steelers based on that.
Tradition.
Based on that, I've almost lived this life. Then I'm going to go with Steelers on that. Steeler fans would agree. Don't mess with them. If I had to pick a Steeler fan to put on a billboard, it would be a guy with a big, probably like an Iron City beer, with a Steeler bandana, cut off obviously with tats of Terry Bradshaw, and then you'd have an eagle just sitting riding with him, and the lady behind him would also kick your tail in. That was riding with him on a Harley.
That's his mom.
That is what I think of while he's waving the American flag and a Steeler flag
towel.
And a Steeler flag, and somehow driving the bike like Tesla, being able to still go out there and do it. I don't know. That's what I would see.
Actually, lets the eagle drive.
Exactly. And he's confident that eagle will get him home.
Absolutely.
Because he's that big of an American.
Yep.
We're not condoning that. Do not try that today. You will hit a wall and die if you try to.
If you have an eagle that can do that.
If you have a bald eagle that tries to drive any type of vehicle, he will.
Well, if you have a bald eagle, period.
Some 18-wheelers like America, like off the. Don't have an eagle drive your car. If we can learn something from today's show, that's a booger.
Something
Booger McFarlane has taught us here. That's a perfect booger. Hey guys, if you listen to Sports Drive today, just let people know we don't condone here or the policies with ESPN or any affiliate of a bald eagle driving an 18-wheeler to get home or deliver goods. We're not with that. No bald eagles. Don't have them drive. Your PSA. That sounds like a good PSA from Booger right there. Next to the Asian Longhorn Beetle. All right, moving here to number 5. 5C versus, oh gosh, Jeff Wayne, if he's listening right now, Red Sox versus Notre Dame football. 5 versus 12.
I got to go Sox because there's more of them. They
come in pairs, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
They're a lot like Yankee fans, except I think it's more. Here's the thing:
you just ruined the whole bracket.
Well, they are like Yankee fans. They're not to the extent of Yankee fans because the Yankees always picked on the Red Sox. That was always the way it was.
All right, they move on, and I agree, but we got to take a break on that. I can't wrap my head. I'm not gonna. I know what you meant to say.
No, that's not. I wanted to say other things, but I'm trying to keep this family rated.
It's time for your Bob Tyler Toyota Drive to Excitement, brought to you by our friends at Bob Tyler Toyota. You can check them out there in Car City, Pensacola, on Highway 29, right there off the exit on I-10. Our Drive to Excitement, usually the best plays in sports. So today we will capitalize on what is on right now. Folks, it is the Australian Open. and the Williams sisters are battling it out. It's a classic battle. Don't turn the station. We want you to listen and watch us right here. But I will say, if you have a chance to TiVo it, do it, because what a great matchup between Venus and Serena from 2017. A battle you don't want to miss. And also, right now, currently, all the big World Series games on FS1. So if you're a baseball fan, the best of all the Game 7s, even when we thought Houston and the team was legit. Enjoy them. Your drive to excitement. Right now, baseball, football, tennis, all the sports, at least giving us the best opportunity to tune into the games. I've enjoyed some of the games, even though I realize I've seen them 20 times. That's your Drive to Excitement, brought to you by Bob Tyler Toyota. Check them out there in Car City, Pensacola, and get yourself an amazing deal right now on Tundras, Corollas, whatever you need. RAV4s, they have it for you at great deals, exceptional deals. Check them out. They're fast. Wait, fun? Okay, I just butchered that, so I'm going to have to go back now. I've said this 100 times for him, and I'm not taking Bob's line. That's Bob Tyler's line, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to go ahead and take a break and tell you Bob Tyler Toyota, Drive to Excitement.
What do I cherish? Precious moments watching Dad read to my little Eric. That's why I'm so grateful I insisted on an eye exam when I noticed him struggling with the words on the page. We found out Dad has age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. Luckily, the doctor caught it in time for treatment, so Dad can still read. Protect yourself and your loved ones. Call the Foundation Fighting Blindness today at 1-800-254-6552 for a free packet on preventing and managing AMD. That's 1-800-254-6552.
First Take, Your Take, with Jason Fitz.
Remember, it's not that long ago the 76ers over-exceeded expectations in the playoffs, right? So suddenly it became they are the future, and the future is now. Trust the process became this thing that works. Now they've hit a wall. And it's staggering to me to hear Embiid talk about he doesn't know if he's getting the ball. And Horford to say, we've got issues in the locker room, but we'll keep that private. Guess what? You just made them public.
1 to 2 weekday afternoons on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Pensacola's home to hometown sports, covering the biggest high school games. UWF football, catching every game of the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. Plus, local sports commentary with the Sports Drive with Chad Brillante. And weekend sports talk with Davis Allen and Justin Patrick on the Sports Call. We are local. We are ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Hi, I'm Matt Kenseth. You don't have to be a race car driver to know that life can be full of drama. Some of it you can't control, like mechanical issues, high winds, and rain delays. But there's some drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
You just need to take that first step and find free classes near you, and leave the drama for the racetrack.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ed Council.
When working at a growing business, you wear many hats. The new business hat, the buying toner for the copy machine hat, the sifting through tons of resumes hat. You can throw away that last hat thanks to Indeed.com. When posting your job, Indeed lets you add screener questions that give you a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates. So go ahead, dust off that extra long lunch hat. Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
Like all of us, small businesses are being impacted by these uncertain times, but we will get through them together. When you can, please try to support your local restaurants, bars, or any other establishments that are still open for carryout or delivery. The following businesses continue to serve their communities and customers by remaining open and need your support.
Mr. Poyo in Pensacola, open for pickup.
We do sports, and that's all we do. We're your hometown sports station. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back. Welcome back, Sports Drive. Do you remember Well, you could go down to the pond. Hey, 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 hey. 6 feet. Bum, bum, bum. Welcome back. Yeah. Do You Remember is a good song right now. Do you remember the times by Michael Jackson? It's changed a lot. Just got to be. We're all in this together. We're all dealing with this. Moving on here to the NFL Draft Talk, which has been very popular because they've kept the doors open for having it in are they going to do, you think it's going to be like a lot of families giving each other daps and like within 6 feet of each other, like sort of like, hey, like everybody, you know those, the end zone celebrations where they all go and they all fall back, or the fake grenade and they all jump? Maybe one of those, like with family. No hugs, just like waves and golf claps from around the room.
I think they're going to be highly criticized because, people are always looking to criticize on this. Going to be criticized in one of the biggest moments for a kid getting drafted or whatever, and the family's going to go nuts. Rightfully so, though.
Would you be against, would it make a mockery of the sport? And the answer to this is yes, but would you enjoy it if they started to take things like, to add some pizzazz, because we haven't had sports in a while, but Joe Burrow comes on the back of a trained Bengal tiger from Joe Exotic?
I guess.
I don't know if I'd want to buy a ticket to that event at that point, but
no, that could be
that could be very bad.
Bad.
I didn't know there was a live tiger coming. But when it comes down to Jordan Love and Justin Herbert, we know at this point, because of that Tua and Joe Burrow are going to be off the board. We don't know for sure, but we expect. I mean, we definitely, more than assuming. You know what happens when you assume? No, those two quarterbacks are. No, I'm not going to get into it.
Okay.
Not right now. Too many people need positives right now. And then you've got a guy like Jordan Love, who's a risk. We know that. Utah State, they were beat by Kent State, the Golden Flashes, in a bowl game that people like us watch because it's a Tuesday in the middle of Christmas time and there's nothing else on. But I will say, though, that Jordan Love is one of those kind of guys that, from what I've seen in the video, and me and John Gruden get together and watch this. Not at all.
Makes a lot of sense. There we go.
Not at all.
Right.
But we do actually sit there. But I have seen enough video on him that because we have watched a lot of NFL film pretty much over the last 2 weeks, because that's what's actually getting talked about. And I realize at this point that Jordan Love is one of those kind of guys, if his first option's there, he throws it. But the decisions that people compare him to Patrick Mahomes, first off, I think that's because of his size and skin. I mean, just based on he's a light-skinned guy that when it comes to light-skinned black guy that throws the ball at 6'4", 230, and he has the same dynamics where he's not a first runner, but then he runs afterwards, and then he goes out there and plays. It's not shock, and don't be like, oh my God, did he go there? No, because Lamar Jackson, everybody, all they were comparing him to was Michael Vick and a few other guys, so let's not go down that path. We do those kind of comparisons based on size and speed and things like that. But I have to say, for Jordan Love, he's not Patrick Mahomes. First off, there are very few people in this world that are Patrick Mahomes and what he can do. But I do have to say that he's the kind of guy that I don't know enough to say he can fail. And the quarterback position is one that, let's make it real clear, we can analyze, we can sit there and watch Senior Bowl videos, we can do whatever you want to say this guy's going to be good or bad, and it almost never works out the way the pundits, us, people that watch college football from day one, it almost never works out that way. Think about the good quarterbacks in the NFL today. Tom Brady, 6th-rounder, was backing up Drew Henson when he wanted to go play baseball, and he was sitting there with his arms crossed as a skinnier version that didn't have Giselle. Think about the other guys like a Big Ben from Miami of Ohio, or Joe Flacco from Delaware, or Carson Wentz from North Dakota State, even Drew Brees from Purdue, or go all the way down the board from Russell Wilson having to transfer from Wisconsin, a non-throwing team, to NC State or from NC State to Wisconsin, and still getting drafted. Not too many Wisconsin quarterbacks we thought were going to be the man. We all need to realize that the one position from Tony Romo at Eastern Illinois, or Jimmy Garoppolo at Eastern Illinois, trend going on. We don't know who is going to be great coming out of college immediately. Deshaun Watson's have a better chance, and we expect Joe Burrow to be great. But I think it's real clear if there's one position that continues each and every year to prove people wrong, it's that Patrick Mahomes, that are 500 quarterbacks at Texas Tech and not talked about a lot, and a gunslinging offense. Or guys like a Jared Goff from California, Cal Berkeley, brah, can go out there and be good for a little while. JP, we can do all we want to break this down, but getting on the right team, the right system, and the right thing has been proven for so many years in the NFL. And we just got to accept that when it comes to quarterbacks in the NFL, nobody out there, until they get on the right system, the right coach, the right team, we know if they're going to be great or not. It's the truth. It's been the truth for 20 years in the NFL.
Well, here's the thing is of course, I like Herbert, but there's a lot of things I question with Herbert. And remember, we've talked about this before. NFL scouts have said they didn't believe Herbert was even in the right offense that was fit for him. And so they don't know what his ceiling could be. It could actually be a lot more than what it is. They know he's a smart guy. He learns a playbook very quickly. He can lead a team. He's not a loud leader, but he's a locker room leader. And here's the thing with Jordan Love. Him getting compared to Patrick Mahomes, that's not his fault.
No,
he's
it's how he looks.
There.
More than his play.
If he would have come out last year, this would be a different story. He threw over 30 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. It was insane. His yards per attempt were almost 9. It was really good. And I know for a lot of people they're saying, well, who does he play? Well, let's go back. I don't – you can't take away from a player with what he's played. That's not his fault. Here's the thing. Some of the greatest – look at SEC quarterbacks. How many SEC quarterbacks go in and go to the NFL every year? Well,
not too
that
many, no.
And so let's stop that conversation before we even get it started.
Although they get paid a lot because of Dak Prescott.
They do.
The numbers.
It's true. But for Love, look, the arm talent's awesome. He's got a smooth release. I think that's what makes people almost salivated and willing to take a chance at this guy. The thing is, though, is he had an easier schedule this year. And I told you, I go back to the LSU game because that was his chance to play against a better opponent. And LSU at the time wasn't even playing defense like they did toward the end of the year. So we know they were talented, but they weren't playing up to that level. And I understand Utah State didn't have the talent to match up with people like that, so it's tougher. But just his overall, the way he was rattled, he threw a bunch of interceptions. He looked like he was lost out there. And that's where you look for guys to have composure. So I'm not going to take that away. I'm not going to make one game be it for the guy because, look, you go back to Patrick Mahomes. If you want to talk about Patrick Mahomes, this is a guy nobody saw this coming. Jimmy Garoppolo, nobody saw that coming. Tom Brady, nobody saw that coming. So it's a matter of what can they do, but I think you're right. It's a matter of what system are you going to get into because with Joe Burrow, the year before, look what he was, and then the year after. Everything matched, and when things match up like that, it's awesome. For Jordan Love, though, it's I don't know. If you're looking and you're asking me, look, I look at a guy like a Justin Herbert, and I know I'm a homer on this, but he's 6'6", 240. He's mobile. He's got a big-time arm. He has the intangibles off the field. He has the IQ. That the decision-making is sometimes not there, but it's more there than not. And the only thing I told you that I see with Herbert that I have a problem with is the fact that of the touch pass. And you're going to be able to throw a touch pass in the NFL in between a linebacker and a safety there. It's so important. But I think those are things he can learn. For a guy like Jordan Love, I know he takes a lot of flack. And look, I know Todd McShay. Todd McShay said that he believes Jordan Love, and he bet $5,000 on it, that Jordan Love will be
of
drafted.
Our money. It's like taxes. It's our money on ESPN. We pay for that insider.
He bet $5,000 that Jordan Love will be drafted before Justin Herbert to Mel Kiper because Kiper said you're crazy. There's no way they're going to take a guy like Jordan Love ahead of Justin Herbert. I think it's interesting, though. Look, here's the thing. Depending on what happens with the Tua situation and depending on where teams stand, because free agency is still moving around, Cam Newton, if the Chargers go out and say they get Cam Newton, which today Cam Newton was working out with Tyrod Taylor. There was video. They posted on Instagram or whatever it was. People can take that for whatever it's worth. But I know that Anthony Lynn has come out and said we're not going after a veteran quarterback. We've got, our guy, and we believe in Tyrod Taylor. Which, hey, you know what? Tyrod has done a good job.
Sorry, give me a chance for my composure.
But we see Tyrod in Buffalo where it's been a long time since we've seen a quarterback have success there. So they have weapons with the Chargers. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do there. But nonetheless, I'm not really buying that. I think that's more along the lines of we're going to get a guy in the draft, and we're going to use him. We'll be able to use Tyrod Taylor for a year or so and then move on. But then again, if they get a guy like a Cam Newton, if they go out and get that guy or Jameis Winston, this changes the entire draft now. This is where you look at a guy like we assume Joe Burrow is going to be number 1 to the Bengals, even though Miami could. The rumor is they're willing to trade up. Regardless, Burrow, Tua, and then it's everybody else. And so you're looking at if that happens, if a team does something like this, they could drop to, because now the Colts are out of it, but they could drop to, the Patriots at 23. And do the Patriots go get a quarterback because they just signed?
The incumbent is.
They got Brian Hoyer and they got Jarrett Stidham there, and we believe that they like him. It's interesting. This is what I'm saying, though. These guys can actually go out of the first round depending on what happens the next couple weeks here. So
the beginning of the draft is important. Good points. And I think one thing that people need to realize is I hope for humanity and everything, and I think it will. But I think when we're done with this, whether it's 2 weeks, because today the mayor joined us earlier on the show, and he made the announcement right before we got on the show, one of the reasons we timed it today, with the chance of talking about 2 more weeks of social distancing. Now, it could be, that doesn't mean that in 2 weeks we're back to everybody's on the beach and everybody's out there hanging out, chilling, listening to concerts at Flounders, and none of this is guaranteed. But what we realize is how long this takes. Sports is going to take longer, because people are not going to just jump back into massive groups. We're not going to be thrown in there. It's like when you have physical therapy, yeah, you maybe get that cast off. You maybe are able to now walk after you had a torn ACL, but you don't just jump right back after a torn ACL or getting a cast off your arm and get into a boxing match the next day. If you are, you're probably doing it in some street pub in the back of an alley. If you're doing these kind of things, we need to
fight club.
Exactly. Don't talk about it. Or you're just a real hard ass that I don't want to fight, because if you're taking that cast off and still beating the crap out of people, you don't want to mess with that.
Beating it with the cast on.
He's got Jack O'Leary, right? But I will say, though, that it is something that people need to understand in this draft and going forward, that one thing that people aren't going to be more calm and collective about and patient about are their sports teams. Honestly, when this comes back after 5 or 6 months, people are going to be more hungry than ever to win championships, to make the right moves, because they don't know. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen next, and they want to win championships, so they want to go spend money on people that are willing to invest. So when they see these journeymen, like, and no offense to Tyrod Taylor, but it is, well, 100% offense, but when it comes down to Taylors or Ryan Fitzpatrick's or these quarterbacks that have been stuck in purgatory forever. I call it the 8-8, 7-9. You know exactly what's going to happen. I would rather take a risk on a Jordan Love than go down a path of a guy that you know is not going to get any further than at best a 9-7. Personally, I'd rather, if I was the Pats are actually in this boat for the first time in 20 years, I get to speak on behalf of the other side. But I would rather them not go after a guy that you know is going to be an Andy Dalton than go after a guy and just say, you know what? We're shooting for it with Jarrett Stidham, and then next year, if he doesn't work out, we're going to really stink, and we have a chance at Trevor Lawrence. I'd rather them go down that path than to give me Andy Dalton to a 3-year contract and know that you're at best going to be 9-7. Personally, I'd rather go 2-14 1 year with the hopes of improving for the future and taking a risk that Stidham could be good than be 9-7. That's the type of fan I am, and I would hope people understand. So when you say Tyrod Taylor's our guy, the Chargers already didn't want to show up. If I'm a Charger fan, I'm going back to quarantine and then not showing up next season.
But you have to be careful, because if your team is not ready to win now, you need to build for the future. We watched the Astros do this not too long ago. Remember, the Astros were terrible. They were horrible, one of the worst, just an epitome to watch. And then look when they built the right way. I'm not saying the Chargers are doing this. But what I'm saying here is for them right now, look, if you bring in a Cam Newton, how good are you? Look at their division. They're not even the best in their division. That's a really tough division right now. They have a lot of other problems right now they've got to shore up. Now, I understand, for fans and things like that, but when you look at Tyrod Taylor, he's actually a guy that you can, if you draft a Justin Herbert, a guy that can be your quarterback for the next 10 or 15 years, the next Phillip Rivers for him, then you go for that.
If you have a backup plan. I agree with that. If you have Herbert on the roster, I have no problem with.
That's what I said earlier.
Just Tyrod Taylor, I'm not buying.
But
if
that's
it's
what
just
I said
him.
with Anthony Lynn, the way he was speaking. He said Tyrod Taylor's our guy. We're not going after a veteran quarterback. And everybody, even inside the locker room, has said, yeah, the rumor is we're going to get a guy in the draft.
Okay.
And that's why it makes sense.
Then
here.
that's fair.
And because Tyrod Taylor, he's not a horrendous guy. But no, I agree with you.
If it's a fourth-round bozo, though, that's
not a guy that's going to lead you to the promised land that we think. Crazier things have happened. But I think right now the Chargers, they're lucky to be second best in their division.
Yeah, well, if you're in any division as people in the AFC East know with Tom for a while, if you're in any division with Patrick Mahomes for the next 10 years, it's not fun. It's not.
Speaking of, though, I'll tell you what, Kansas City, they've got some problems. They've had some guys leave them, too. They're going to have to address some issues as well because, yes, Patrick Mahomes is fantastic, but how long can they keep this together? Because even defensively, they've lost some guys now. So it's going to be interesting. This is a team that's gone completely – talk about winning the Super Bowl, and then you heard nothing about them. I mean, we assume they're going to be really good, but here in the offseason, all it takes is you to lose a couple pieces. And look, that defense, they lost a couple guys, but when those guys came back, it was night and day difference. And that's the fun in all this, though. I know with all this stuff going on with the virus and everything, everybody being cooped up, if anything, look, NFL has given us plenty to talk about.
Yes, they have. And, to your point about being self-isolated and folks like Andy Reid, I hope, he won his championship, but all those make it a doubles.
You haven't heard from him.
We have not, and I hope he can get off the couch to get back out there. I'm just saying, this is serious. Him self-quarantining with that many double cheeseburgers is not a good thing right now.
Freeze him out there.
He needs to get back.
That's a big hole in the wall.
He needs to get out there and do some stuff, get some exercise.
That Waffle House menu.
Andy Reid's like, I don't need to take any advice from you, dude. I don't know. He probably has his own. He just won the Super Bowl. I bet he has
he's
a nice.
He's a guy. I bet he's playing video games.
I would 100% doubt that he's playing video games right now. Right now, he's probably getting some of that.
He's sitting there
really
playing
good
Madden
beef
with Patrick Mahomes. Because if Pat called him,
probably got 3 steaks on the grill right now.
If Pat said, "Look, hey,"
and he's sitting in a pool.
Andy, Coach, I'm getting on. You getting on? He's like, "Yeah, I'll be there."
Well, let's do a Kuiper bet. Let's infiltrate. I got a drone.
I am not going to be drugged down in this.
You don't have to. I've got people. We'll make it happen.
Patriot way.
Andy Reid, watch out. We're coming for you. Coming back for more. That was some. Like, did they just threaten? No, we love Andy Reid. Coming back for more right here. It's Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola, Blab TV.
Just felt there's a huge need in Pensacola to bring foot and ankle services, specifically orthopedic foot and ankle services, to this area. There's so much growth in Pensacola. I wanted a freestanding orthopedic foot and ankle center to do this, and as far as I can tell, this is the only one really in the country that's freestanding. Most orthopedic surgeons are part of a multi-specialty group. So we offer on-site x-rays, on-site CT scan, and on-site MRI. They can come to one place.
Visit NielsenOrthopedics.com to reserve your appointment today.
Football season never ends on Talk Football with Coach K.
Stidham is tearing it up at New England. He may well be the incumbent to Tom Brady there.
Former head coach of the Buffalo Bills, Coach K brings his expertise as he breaks down the game, the players, the coaches, and the front office. Plus, high-profile interviews from the biggest names in football. Talk Football with Coach K every weekday from noon till 1 on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 FM 99.1.
Welcome to the boat!
Okay, hi, what are we doing today?
I need something that screams something fun. Nothing too on the face, nothing too off the face, but also totally hot.
So I have the perfect thing. It's the most food mullet. You're totally business in the front, but tailgate in the back. It's a fat party. People are having fun. Snap. All your friends are going to be like, whoa, awesome setup. Everyone else is going to be all jelly, okay?
Just like a killer mullet, Moe's Catering will turn the back of your ride into a tailgate party that's sure to turn some heads. Just order ahead and pick it up on your way.
Moe's Southwest Grill, now open in Pace on Highway 90 next to Publix grocery store.
JP here at ESPN Pensacola. We are hometown proud. We love our hometown heroes like Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawk Doug Baldwin.
They fake, the lob, wide open, touchdown, Doug Baldwin.
Bigger body that Wilson likes to throw to, big target. Here's Baldwin, smaller target, and he ducks it for the touchdown.
Hi, this is Doug Baldwin, and you're listening to ESPN Pensacola.
From first take to your radio.
Zion, 16 games. Okay, how many games do they have left? About 20, 22 games. All right, so he ain't gonna even reach 40 games. Damn it, I mean, this first year in the NBA, which he's getting paid for, it's like a college season to do. Give a damn about no back-to-back. You're 19 years old. 19 years old. All right, figure it out.
1 to 2 weekday afternoons on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from him. A message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen. With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom. Oh, dilly dilly.
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
You can watch Chad on the Sports Drive live right now on our YouTube channel at ESPN Pensacola 1330.
And welcome back. 6:43 on this Friday. Weekends feel a little bit different now. It's true. It's like I'm ready for the weekend. Oh, what are you doing this weekend, Bob? Well, what I did the last 20 days. Sit around with the kids. They're going to sing songs and maybe grill. If I got a pool, I'm jumping in it. If you don't have a pool and you say, if I got a pool, then you've really been self-quarantining. No, if I have a pool. Jim, you don't have a pool. Why are you in your bathing suit? What? Where am I? This isn't my house. Get out of my house. Yeah, you just got to be careful right now.
I do want to say Sister Jean has spoken, by the way.
Sister Jean from Loyola, Chicago?
Yep, she's spoken. She said she would rather be watching March Madness, ideally courtside, as she did 2 years ago. But, she said with her Loyola Chicago making the unforgettable run. But she said this is so different from anything we've ever heard or read about. She's talking to ESPN. This is big time.
Yeah, this is very serious for her.
It's 100 years old. We have to be calm about it. It's very hard to say that people who are losing family and everything. But things like this happen for some reason, I suppose. And we need to get closer to God. We need to trust God that this is going to end, and it's not going to go on forever. She said, I think the end will come, but we have to work as a team in order to do this. Everybody has to work on this team, stay home, and not be out gallivanting or sunbathing.
There we go.
I can just hear Sister Jean saying gallivanting. No,
well, no, I heard Sister Jean and sunbathing, and now I can't. I can't go home. Where's some sanitizer?
You threw it on
my
the
whole
ground.
Body right now.
Threw it on the ground.
But
that's rude.
Oh, it isn't. I don't want to think of Sister Jean or anybody should in sunbathing, but I do have to say that she, she's right, and she was there for the bubonic plague, so she knows a lot about this and survived it. I mean, she's been around for a long time.
Revolutionary War?
She knows a lot about this, yeah. When the Declarations was signed, she saw the power of what we... right now, I do have to... Because look, in the news, it is our job, whether you agree, disagree, whatever, it is to be responsible for giving people that experts' opinions and news that is out there. Dr. Sayamwala Munaf, he's a friend of ours in our crew, and I've known him for a while. And he was the first one that found the first case here. He's at the foreground of sitting there with the mayor and everybody from all of our city council members. Everybody is, one of the guys that's right there at the foreground of announcing each and every day on this. And he just wrote to our crew a few minutes ago that Florida peak is expected around May 11th and Alabama's around April 24th. Any measures rather than complete lockdown at this point, he says, would be stupid until then. This is his opinion on this. And like I said, I'm giving the word from him because he's there. He's actually every day. Yesterday he posted he hasn't eaten since 11:30, and he had a mask, and he's out there helping with ventilators and beds currently at Baptist. Expected death in Florida, 4,000, and by the time of peak, 36 deaths every day. He's getting updates every single minute, he says, and those are today's numbers and what they were on the meetings with together. So, I mean, that's from the doctor's standpoint there at the foreground. That's his, like I said, that doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I'd rather take advice from this guy than the guy right now that has watched his 15th episode of Joe Exotic. I'm just saying.
The thing is, too, though, is to call for complete lockdown. I get it. It's the
that
easy,
part is an opinion part. The other parts is
but it's easy to say that just because, yes, obviously that makes more sense. If life was that easy, in a perfect world you could do that. I think, though, it's a lot harder to do something like that. So, yes, I get him saying that, and that's awesome, but at the same time, we have to be realistic in what we can and can't do.
That part is an opinion, and that part is just what he wrote, and I agree with you. I think there are parts, and the mayor said today, he believes what's going with social distancing is good.
Day.
If it's complete lockdown, you and I don't come here and do the show.
This changes every day, too. So that right there, what he said, that can change as well. It all depends on the cases jumping and going, whatever. It's all about, doing the right thing. If we do the right thing, and now I'm not saying like complete lockdown necessarily, but I'm saying if everybody does their part, then we could shoot the curve a lot faster than this.
Yeah, I found that interesting based on the Florida peak is expected around May 11th and Alabama around April 24th. It is all different, and we do have to – this is one thing that's factual based on the timing of it. We are going to be a little – if we're seeing New York and other cities, that it's going to be major. But if we see cities around us starting to return, we might be a little bit behind or based on – but because we – at this point, the steps we're taking, some places took 2-3 weeks ago just based on the timing of people coming in and out. Not that long ago, probably more like 7-8 days before. But the timing of it has been different in every city. So complete lockdown, I get it from both sides, but I also get the side of not. I mean, I get both sides, and At this point, it's one that really, frankly, it's like you can sit in a room with 100 people and 50 of them will tell you why smoking weed and pot is horrible and it's a gateway and all these things, and you can listen to 50 people how it heals Granny with Alzheimer's, or it can help help a lot of people in pain that are taking painkillers, and there are a lot of states that have legalized it for recreational use. You could sit there for a week and listen to both sides, and not one of those people ever is going to come on agreement on it. I think this is the same. A lot of people right now that 100% believe that if we don't shut down everything, that we're making a horrible choice. And then there's other people that realize that I think right now the beaches are shut down. There's no big groups. Blue Wahoo Stadium is open. Jonathan and them are serving dinners out there, right there curbside, so you can still go see Kazoo, but we don't know at this point. So at this point, I'm just reading that information. This is why we're in sports, so I'm not going to get into my opinion. Listen to News Radio 92.3 right there if you want to get into that. We'll give people the news, but that's it. 850-623-1330 is the number to be part of the show. As we continue, I want to get these in real quickly here before the break. All right, so far, Bama, the Cardinals, Steelers, and Sox have moved on and are fan bases that would disown you if you came home with the rival gear on in your family. Moving on to the next one here, Yankees versus Indiana Hoosiers basketball.
Yankees. Without a doubt, Yankees. Are you kidding me? This is a question?
Wait a second. Have you ever been to Bloomington? And have you ever been right there through Indiana Hoosier basketball?
I have family members on her side that are actually from Indiana, and I can tell you right now, Yankees. Are you? I can't believe you even.
Here's the deal. This is the deal with it, though. You can walk into a bandwagon's house of just guy wearing Yankees gear that just thinks they're cool because they're the Bronx Bombers, and they got relatives from Puerto Rico and they live in Miami. I see that all the time. I've lived that. If you're an Indiana Hoosier fan.
If you're
you're an Indiana Hoosier fan. That's what I'm.
If you're a true Yankee fan, this is about being a true fan.
That's true. That's true. You're right. You're okay.
Bandwagon.
This is you're the bracketologist. I'm learning. Okay, here we go.
If you're a true Yankee fan, they're like Dodger fans.
All right, I'm going to give you are the one, so we're writing you down. But I would have gone with Indiana on that.
Let them fight.
Because I just want the Yankees to lose even in these brackets. Next one would be LSU and Oakland Raider football.
Ooh.
Oakland wins the best chance of just disowning you and then burying the body in the backyard.
Yeah, burying the body, period.
But so does LSU with the Gators. with not Florida Gators, but Gator Pitt. This is a very good one right
Oakland's.
These tough. Are probably, they both win the award.
Now it's Las Vegas, so we're fine. So I'm not worried about the Raiders.
Yeah. I think both of these would win the award for scare the bejesus. If you said the wrong thing, you could be missing.
Death Valley at night, that's a scary place.
Raiders parking lot at night. It's a scary place.
Place.
Raiders parking lot at night.
Yeah, you don't have night games there. You just don't.
No, you don't. Ohio.
It's in Vegas now, so it's okay.
That's right. Real quickly, Ohio State football versus Red Wings hockey. Detroit Red Wings. It's a very tough one too. They've sucked for a while now, but they got a passionate fan base.
There's a lot of built-up hate there with the Red Wings.
But they also during the heyday with Fedorov and Yzerman and those guys. Yeah, that was. Shanahan, yeah.
Plus hockey fans, they're a different breed as well.
So you going Red Wings? Yeah. All right. Joe Ford, if you're listening. Kentucky hoops and Michigan football.
Michigan's trying to get their own out of there right now. Coach Harbaugh.
Big House versus Kentucky in Rupp Arena. I got to go Kentucky because I've been threatened.
I think Kentucky as well.
I got to go because there was an Old Dominion basketball game in November where everyone's wearing shorts and the Maui Invitational, and those games might not even count. And I asked for a TV because we were driving through Lexington, coming back from Dayton, and I asked for a TV to be changed to it was week 7 or 8 of the NFL season at that point, and everybody in the place just stopped and looked at me because Old Dominion and Kentucky were in that city. They're moving on. Ashley Judd, you're moving on. Coming back for more Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, and Blab TV.
There's only one natural ingredient that could instantly shift your mood, help you focus, lower stress, and boost your self-confidence. It's available everywhere, works immediately, is affordable, and can change the quality of your life forever. It's called playing music.
Side effects include restless foot syndrome, spontaneous undulation, and can be highly contagious. If a smile doesn't last for more than 4 hours, consult your nearest music store.
Just play. Your prescription to a better life. Brought to you by the NAM Foundation.
For your ESPN Pensacola Ridiculous Stats, I'm JP. Among Ted Williams' many records, he set a student gunnery record as a World War II pilot. The test emphasized reflexes, coordination, and visual reaction time and still stood as of 2002. There have been 3 Olympic Games held in countries that no longer exist. Only 72 players in NBA history have attempted more free throws in their careers than the over 5,300 Shaquille O'Neal missed. Sorry, Big Diesel. These are your ESPN Pensacola Ridiculous Stats. I'm JP.
When working at a growing business, you wear many hats. The new business hat, the buying toner for the copy machine hat, the sifting through tons of resumes hat. You can throw away that last hat thanks to Indeed.com. When posting your job, Indeed lets you add screener questions that give you a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates. So go ahead, dust off that extra-long lunch hat. Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
JP here with Talk Football and the Sports Drive. At ESPN Pensacola, we're hometown proud. We love our hometown heroes like Super Bowl champion and NFL Hall of Famer Derek Brooks.
The Super Bowl, and they're trying to win it for us. 3rd down, 18. Dropping Gannon, looking Gannon. Throws up the middle. It's intercepted at the 30. Derek Brooks, 30. Brooks to the 25, 20. Derek Brooks all the way.
This is former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, Washington High School alum, Derek Brooks. You listen to ESPN Pensacola.
Here are the ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM contest rules. You can win one prize per household per contest in any 30-day period, unless specified by individual contest rules. All prizes are non-transferable, non-redeemable for cash, or exchangeable for any other contest prize. Prizes must be redeemed within a 30-day period of winning and must be 18 years of age or older to win. For a complete list of rules, visit ESPNPensacola.com.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
And welcome back, Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM, simulcast each and every day on Blab TV. Chad Brillante, alongside sort of JP, outside the window. John back in the network studio at Blab TV doing a great job downtown. 850-623-1330. There it is. 1 minute to go. Throwing out the number. So we had the Bama. Obviously, Bama football was going to move on regardless of this. St. Louis Cardinals versus Cubs. I just had to put them together in the same bracket. Cardinals win. This is all JP, by the way. This is his. And then you have the Steelers over Duke basketball. Yep. Red Sox over Notre Dame football. The Yankees. This is your call over Indiana basketball. I would have gone with the Hoosiers. LSU football Raiders. We went with the LSU Tigers, right? Even though both would be.
I think
either way, you're going to be.
Sure.
They actually probably win this because they make me the most afraid overall, I'd say. And then you have Ohio State, Detroit Red Wing hockey. You picked the Wings.
Look, I've learned my lesson. You did
comfortable shoes.
Fans,
comfortable shoes.
If they have teeth, you can mess with them. If they don't have teeth, yeah, don't mess with them.
Kentucky basketball over Michigan football. Miami Marlins were left off somehow. I don't know.
Good riddance.
Good riddance. That's all the time we have for today's show. Thanks again for all of us here. Thanks for tuning in to the Sports Drive. Thanks to the mayor for joining us. Have a great rest of your night, and God bless. All right, tomorrow on the Sports Drive, we'll get back into our March Madness. I tell you what, as moments that left you in shock and awe. Tomorrow, we will have the Miracle on Ice going up against the matchup right there with the Netherlands winning the World Baseball Classic in 2012. Sister Jean and Loyola Chicago, she was mentioned today, will take on the 1969 Joe Namath Guarantee. The Pat Super Bowl comeback against Atlanta, one close to all of our hearts, will take on Y.E. Yang, beating Tiger Woods. Buster Douglas over Mike Tyson versus the Music City Miracle. I gave JP one, he can't win. Maryland-Baltimore County right there. The Retrievers, an underdog story. Taking out Virginia, first 1/16 versus the Rally Monkey. Down 3-1 in a series against Barry Bonds. And in 3 straight games, down by more than 3 runs going into the 7th inning. Rally Monkey appears. They win a bunch of baseball games. App State over Michigan in 2007 in front of 110,000 at the Big House. First time an FBS team was upset by an FCS team. Against the 2004 Greek squad that won the Euro Cup. Not supposed to win when it comes to Greece in soccer against all these countries like France and England in any time in soccer. David Tyree and the New York Giants ending that perfect season. I don't want to talk about that, but it's on there. The Red Sox, that comeback win right there, down 3-0 in the win against the New York Yankees. Big Poppy. Leicester City, who might win this bracket, 1,500 to 1 odds to win the Premier Cup, did 7 years ago. And Jim Valvano, never give up. Tomorrow's March Madness as we continue here on the Sports Drive.
This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM and 99.1 FM, the only local station that talks sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From Gullick and Wingo to the Sports Drive with Chad Brilliante. Plus talk football with Coach K at noon, sports call every Saturday. If you'd like to partner with us as an advertiser or a promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola.
All right, I also want to make everybody aware, all those brackets, it's Saturday. We will not be with you.
Milton, Pensacola.
This is Spain and Company on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
From Walton, Kentucky, the place to be, 4 square miles of friendly, to the biggest billionaires in America. Quite a twist here, but this coronavirus pandemic affecting everybody at every economic level. Affecting them very differently, though. It's Spain and Company. Sarah Spain, Jason Goff, ESPN Radio, ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. We'll get to the owners of teams, and one woman who is very, very, I guess opinionated is the right word, about how they should be treated after all this blows over. But first, your SportsCenter headlines. MLB owners have approved a plan to address salary and service time issues amid the indefinite delay to the start of the regular season. This according to ESPN and multiple reports. ESPN's Todd Archer reporting that veteran kicker Greg Zuerlein has signed on with the Dallas Cowboys from the Rams for $7.5 million for 3 years. ESPN NBA analyst Doris Burke revealed she tested positive for the coronavirus on the Woj pod. She's hoping that sharing her diagnosis will get people to take the virus seriously and stay home. Spain and Company, presented by Progressive Insurance. Guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, including USA Today's Nancy Armour. Her story, next time billionaire team owner comes looking for a handout, remember their cruelty toward employees. Nancy, thanks so much for making time for us. It's interesting, I think some people have tried to understand the plight of the owner, but you seem, I think, more frustrated by how they've been handling this so far.
Yeah, well, first of all, hello, Sarah. Hello, Jason. I mean, I'm somebody who doesn't agree with giving handouts to billionaire owners to begin with, even when there's not a pandemic going on. But the fact that, you know, these are people who are not scraping by. These are people who have, you know, in the case of the Bruins owner, he is worth $3.3 billion. That's billion with a B. And yet he has laid off his entire staff. And those are people who are scraping by. Not all of them probably, but some of them. Certainly the arena workers, the people who are there on game days. And to me, that's just unconscionable. You know, when you rely on the public, whether it's through tax breaks, public financing, you know, using public services on game days, and then to lay people off and put them in a position where they have to rely on public services just to stay afloat, that to me is completely unacceptable.
For an owner like Tillman Fertitta, who
is seemingly, I won't say panicking, but he's got the doomsday things ready. It seems he's talking about his cash line, and of course he's made his money in the restaurant and hospitality and casino business, which are all shut down now. How would you suggest he go about his business going forward? Because it seems like he's telling his truth. It's just nobody wants to hear it, and obviously there's a lot more going on with people who aren't billionaires right now.
Yeah, well, one of the ways that he could do it is what many, 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 many other owners have done, even when they don't need cash flow, is they sell shares of the team. And he's actually been urged by people in the NBA before to take on some partial owners just to reduce his financial risk, and he's